Hello everyone, welcome back to the United Star. Today we have Pasha with us who's doing his best impersonation of Maro and Fellaini, and he's here to discuss with us the realistic 11 for next season with possible signings that look like they will happen. So Pasha, let's get straight into it. Who do you think is going to be our goalkeeper for next season?
I think Daya should still be our number one goalkeeper, with Henderson probably going out on loan again to another top club, if not playing second fiddle to the hair. I think the loan option would be the better move.
Right. So I think the same, and I think we also have Romero as a second keeper, and he's also wonderful. So we have options there. So I don't think we need to sign anyone. And I completely agree with you that sending Henderson out on loan, maybe at even Sheffield, is a great option. You get the experience and you come back. So yes, David De Gea in goal. He's had a little bit of an off season right now. He's a little low on form, but I think this break might have done him good, and he'll come back stronger.
Absolutely agree.
Uh, and let's go with the defense. Who's the back for?
I think our back four would pretty much be the same that we had before the break, with Van Bissaka on the left, Maguire and Lindelof showing great
Van
potential.
on the right, you mean?
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Van Bissaka on the right, Lindelof and Maguire in the center, and then Luke Shaw on the left. They've been pretty solid this season and constantly improving, which is good to see.
Right. And what do you think of how Maguire and Van Bissaka have improved the defense and how have they done in their first season?
I think they've both done pretty well. Maguire's been a solid captain at the back. He's led the team with solid performances through the season. And then Van Bissaka, we've seen, has been phenomenal for us, absolutely dominating the right hand side of the defense, and potentially the number one right back defensively in the Premier League, if not every league in the top five European leagues.
Right. And I think Lindelof himself has improved quite a bit this season and he's grown into the United shirt and he can possibly do a good job here. And even I think Luke Shaw is getting a good run of games together, and hopefully, touch wood, he doesn't get injured. But I think the best part about the left back position is that we have a young Brandon Williams who can come
Mhm.
on for Luke Shaw if that does happen. And in terms of replacement, I think that's a great option. The same with right back. I feel that Ethan Laird and Diego Dallo are both great young options for game experience and when Van Bissaka needs to rest or like in the lesser games, we can get them in. And I think it would work beautifully. And in the centre back positions also, I think we don't need any signings because uh, we have Eric Bailly and Twanzebe, of course, who is tipped to be a future club captain already. So I think it is something that we should nurture him and we should keep him at the club.
Mhm.
And beyond that, I think we do probably need another centre back in the long run. But if we give Lindelof one more season and see if he can't do it, then maybe we can buy another centre back.
Yeah, I think even the presence of these solid substitutes will push Lindelof to further improve his game at United if he wants to stay at the club.
Right. So in the midfield three, would you play with two sitting midfielders and one centre attacking midfielder in a diamond, or would you play one centre defensive midfielder and then two up front?
I think I'd play the one defensive midfielder with the two attacking midfielders. I
Right.
think Fred would be aptly suited for this role as he's proven this season, laying the ball from the defense onto our midfield attack, with the likes of then Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba both sort of pushing the ball forward onto our attack. I think this transition would be what United is missing, and I think it'd be good to see both Bruno and Pogba playing together, hopefully doing wonders for United.
Right. I think in the center defensive midfield role, we have Fred, of course, who is grown into the shirt again, like Maguire and Van Bissaka. But I think we also have a great replacement in the youth in terms of Scott McTominay, who's shown great potential and he's a United boy through and through. So I think using him as well in certain games would be great. And he'd give Fred a good push and a good run for his money. So he'd also stay on his toes. And then, of course, we have Nemanja Matic, the old warhorse sort of player who's there to like guide Fred and McTominay and also can fill in important times when we need him to step up. So I think that role is quite heavily secured. But we also have been heavily linked with Jude Bellingham, and I think that is something that will happen because he's a player from Birmingham, and he probably would want to stay in England. And all these other clubs that are there in Europe, he probably won't move there. So I think Bellingham and McTominay together would have a great learning opportunity from players like Matic, and Fred too can develop his game and move forward. So I think the CDM role, we have quite a few options in terms of
Mhm.
resources, and then Bellingham coming in, which I think is one of the signings that will happen. So that will happen. And on the left, you say Paul Pogba, but are you certain he's going to be at the club?
I think if Pogba stays injury free and gets the game time that he wants and would like, with the additional signings that we make, it converts United into a stronger team, which I think he wouldn't mind staying at. But of course, I think if he leaves, then we have the option of getting in Jack Grealish to possibly fill up that role, if not now, in the future.
Yeah, I also think that this season we will sign Grealish. So either Grealish sits in on the bench for a while Pogba stays, because then I agree he might stay for a year and learn the ropes from Pogba, and then take up a full-time role there. He might be unhappy to do that, but I think it'll be a great learning opportunity for him. And he can also fill in to play on the left-hand side of midfield. So I think that could be another possible option, even as a replacement player out there. So I think, yeah, that's a great option to have. I think Grealish will also be like Bellingham, a completed transfer by the end of the window. So he will be an option for Pogba. And like I said, even for Bruno, we can probably have Andreas Pereira playing there in the midfield role, in the attacking midfield role. We could have Mata who could fill in there. Or even Fred could go there and we could play McTominay as the CDM. So even that's an option. So I think our midfield is a lot of options, and after a long time, it's looking very solid. And I think the signings of Grealish and Bellingham will just further add to the quality. And then we will have a front three. And on the right wing, are you thinking Jadon Sancho is the most realistic transfer target?
Yeah, I think so. Jadon Sancho should be United's prime target. I think that's the position we need to fill the most. Dan James has been good this season, but I think he's still got a little bit of learning curve if United want to compete for the top spots in the league. So I think the inclusion of Sancho, who is competing with Thomas Muller to be the Bundesliga's top assist maker,
Yeah.
is United's best bet to improve that position.
Right. So I agree with you. I think Jadon Sancho is one transfer we will 100% make it happen, because it looks like the talks have been going on since last season, and it looks like it's almost there. So Jadon Sancho on the right will add creativity, flair to the team. It will do justice to the number seven, I think, after a long time, after Ronaldo for the first time probably. And also to remember, Dan James might be going out on loan. So we desperately would need a right wing, and we're a little thin in replacement there because Mata might have to fill in there. Or maybe what we can do is Bruno Fernandes fills in there at times when Sancho is to be rested or stuff like that, and Grealish can play in the midfield three. So I think that is also a big possibility that is possible. I think that could happen. Whom are you pipping for a striker?
I think Anthony Martial can still be a striker. Um, and then we have Igalo as the substitute, obviously, who we just confirmed for extension of loan
Till
till
January.
January.
Yeah,
But I think if United need to be contending for the top spots, we need somebody more prolific in attack, somebody in the likes of probably Edinson Cavani, who is available on a free. I know Inter making a move for him, but I think if United step up their game, they might be able to tempt him to United. And then there's also talks of Raul Jimenez as a possible signing for United. But I think at the moment Anthony Martial is a solid striker that we have as an
right,
option, and then also Mason Greenwood can always come in from
right.
time to time and replace him as a substitute.
I think Martial needs to just be a little more consistent. That's one of his biggest weaknesses, right? He's not consistent enough. He seems to turn off. But I think if, as we said, Pogba, Bruno, Sancho around him, and I'm assuming we will keep these three players, and these three players will help him a lot, right?
Mhm.
So I feel that if he can get a consistent rope scoring goals, he can be that prolific striker because his dribbling ability, his touch, and his goals finishing is quite impeccable. It just needs to be consistent. So I think you're completely right that we stick to Martial with Igalo and Greenwood being the replacement. And on the left, of course, I think Marcus Rashford has been the best attacking player this season, and he's shown great signs of improvement. So I'm assuming he is the most realistic starter there, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's no real argument that can be made against having Rashford on the left. As for the substitutes and backup to him, there's no first choice backup. We might have to put up the likes of Tae Chong, possibly playing in place of Rashford. I know he's more on the right wing, but if if Grealish can come in on the left, he can play on the right with um, as another backup option, which sort of frees up also another midfield position where Angel Gomez can also come in. I know United want to try and lock him down for a longer period, so hopefully that
Right.
happens too.
Right. I think also if Dan James doesn't go out on loan, he could potentially play on the left.
Yeah,
And in the worst case, what could happen is if Rashford gets another injury or something, is Martial could move on the left and we could give Greenwood go at the striker's position or Odi Negalo. I would rather see Greenwood. So, but yeah, I think Martial, and I think I agree that on the left we are a little thin, but Grealish coming into the team could add like that option where he can play in three positions, which is wonderful. So I think it's a very good squad that can compete, and the realistic 11 we think that will take the field will be David De Gea in goal, Van Bissaka right back with Maguire and Lindelof at centre back, and there will be Luke Shaw on the left. Fred would be the CDM along with Pogba on the left hand side of the midfield and Bruno on the right hand side of midfield, with Jadon Sancho on the right wing with Martial and Rashford. The three signings we think that will definitely happen are Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, and Jude Bellingham, and will add these three will add a lot of depth to the squad, and we hope that we can challenge, if not for the title, but at least be close to it next season. Because I think finally we have a midfield. We haven't had it in a long time. And I know Pasha misses Fellaini, but all of these people are very big upgrades on that.
I can't disagree to that.
So yeah, so I think that is a realistic 11. We think we have a lot of squad depth. We think that the signings that we're making are in the right direction, and maybe in the next 2 years we can realistically compete for the title as well. Thanks guys for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you think is the best 11 for next season, and any signings you think that are possible that we've missed out on. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you all next time.